Hello and welcome, Cosmic Quantum Travelers. How are you all doing? I hope you're okay. Been intense, hasn't it? Today's a little bit better. Intense in a different way. Depends, I guess, also on where we're at. I have a little delay in the video. So anyway, thank you for anyone who's waited. Sorry for the delay. I'm still working on that. So, Pink in the Brain, Mylene, Melanie, James, Kat, think Cici, Shiri, Cici, Shiri, two different people, Francisco. Anyway, welcome everyone who's joining live and for the replay. Hi, Robin. Hi, Paul. My friends from Canada. So, yeah, it's been really intense the last few days. So I wanted to check in and just share my insights a little bit more. I already have in the post that came with the announcement of the live, because when we do it live, we just can together join in the energy. And yeah, so basically there's been, as I've shared in writing, a lot of collapse of the black magic grids in particular. So clearing that field which hung around like the earth, like dark cloudish phenomenon. Oh my God, I can't do that word. Okay. I saw it like a darkish, shadowish field around the earth. And that has been fully lifted along with any curses and hexes and spells. And we've been doing this again. Many of these things we've been doing in stages and waves, but this was really the full release. I mean, we've have already like, this is at higher level, it's all done. But we're obviously clearing at a personal and planetary level the different miasms and things like black magic, which have been a big part of what we had to deal with, especially as star seeds. You won't like, the more I get to see and know, it's like you kind of need to have a certain level of consciousness to be able to actually look at what is happening and the level of interference we had to live with, because it's really hard and it needs to be felt. And yes, there has been a lot of interference in the last few weeks, and again the last week, because the more the light shines onto the darkness or the negative. So the more truth we bring in, the more the untruths are being revealed, which is truth. But it's not always fun and easy, but that's what needs to happen. So it's the same with purging. Whenever we go through these deep clearings, it's basically a good thing. So as long as we can remember this, we can flow a lot more easily and we can let it pass through us more quickly and effortlessly, more gracefully. And it's not fun. No, I think we all know this by now when we go through these things. But again, if we can see the higher picture, we can be grateful for the clearings as we go through them and keep the higher perspective. And that just because the resistance is really what causes a lot of the suffering. Like you can be in pain, and I'm not saying that it's going to be enjoyable, but you're not going to suffer as much as when you're resisting it, when you're thinking there's something wrong with you, then you need to fix it. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't do things that can ease the pain or, bring more balance and health and well-being to your field, far from it, but not from the place of fixing, but from knowing your body is healing itself. Many of us have come onto this journey through some kind of health emergency. I had a burnout from work, like totally stressed out, that brought on my awakening. And many of us had something like this. So ultimately, the same as we've collectively gone through a health emergency, it's bringing awakening. So everything ultimately works out for the better, doesn't it? So it doesn't matter, can we not see now that doesn't matter what happens, our ego might not like it, but ultimately what needs to happen will happen. And then we can actually just relax into it all. And the more we can see that everything is actually working for us, not against us, the more that actually will happen, because we're not resisting the experience and we're just flowing, because no feeling is ever permanent, whether it's good or bad. So that's the whole lesson. We cannot attach, which is the suffering, to either the good or the bad feelings, because that's what's bringing the suffering. Now, it doesn't matter. That doesn't mean we're not human. We don't have emotions. Far from it. We're not robots. But it means that we can flow a little bit more easily with the immense emotions we are feeling, and also transmuting for the collective, for many that cannot really do that deep inner work. Also because it's what we came here for, and because we do have more DNA strands, and we do have more to clear and integrate on behalf of all. That's just our job, and that's what we can do and have trained for. So it's not even should come from we are the saviors of humanity. It's just our job, quite frankly. And also because of us, the consciousness has fallen. So you can, play the hero, but then also you're kind of the one who's responsible in all ways. So we also need to get away from that hero-villain paradigm, which I've mentioned before, to totally dissolve this once and forever, because we want to get out of the war. Everybody talks about this is the final war. And yeah, it is, but the final war ultimately is won in your mind, because this is where it all originates from within the one consciousness we are all part of. There is just one consciousness. It's your imagination that you are separate. That's the illusion. But yes, we're also integrating our unique fractal of source self as part of the whole, which is the individuation process, which is the integration of the ego. But ultimately, the ego equals the false matrix. So you have to totally transcend it, because it's illusory. It's an illusion. It's basically what has created the matrix, or what keeps recreating the matrix. It's a artificial algorithm. It's not your true self. So we've been busy releasing that and clearing that from the perspective of, trying to learn boundaries and discernment. So it's the all oneness, but it's like also, I'm responsible for me, you're responsible for yourself. So it's the both end, which is the tricky part to integrate. What the divine love means. Divine love means also a lot of no's, and, this is what I want and this is what I will not allow in my life. Like a very clear statement, and that you constantly have to reaffirm to your reality of what you will allow and won't allow, what you do want and what you don't want. And that's what you actually do with your attention and focus. That's your currency, your energy. So whether you're for something or against something, you keep feeding it. As we know, so let's keep remembering those basics when we are being shown these false timelines that are energetically dissolved, and the only reason why they're still there is because the consciousness keeps feeding it. So we have been pulling the plug on that programming that is what the artificial matrix is based upon, which is false, inverted thought forms and belief systems that are based in fear, which is not real, which is basically false. It's inverted. So what are false timelines? They have been manipulated artificially. And when I talk about it's not real, it's really holographic inserts. So it's basically we have an organic creatrix field source that analyzes everything. But within that, we are experiencing a small part, which is within a holographic artificial simulation, and holographic inserts really equal false memories. So which we call false history, for example. So we all know that the history we've been taught has not been correct. And I can tell you it's the same for the spiritual history. And we know many of us, there are many different versions out there of what has galactically happened and who did what and who are the bad and who are the good guys and all of that stuff. So, but we need to transcend that and really get, away from this whole mind matrix of trying to figure it all out with our mind. And literally what many of us forerunners have been doing is clearing out anything we believe we know, think we know, to really open up wide, hold on very lightly to our belief systems, and let it be shown to us. Because the true history records, tribal records, are literally held within our DNA, within our cells, and in the body of the planet. Because all of us, all of humanity and us, not just the starseeds, we all are divine humans, angelic humans, carry all together we make up the planetary body. So what happens to our light body happens to a planetary light body and vice versa. This is why this is also important. And that's why spiritual hygiene of your energy body is very important, especially at times where all of this crap is clearing. And when black magic and these kind of grids and spells are clearing, the black magicians, the black magicians that are left and have not have not given in yet, so to say, are obviously busy. But the more you can keep a sovereign energetic field, the easier ride you will have. So you need to constantly which is just part of what you should do anyway, clearing your energetic field, fortifying it. And it also plays out in your day-to-day interactions of, what you allow, what you don't allow, if you still have kind of codependent relationships or, where people suck on your energetic field or, things like this. So we've all been going through a huge clearing out of what is good for us, what is not, who and what we should allow in our reality or not, because these also equal openings and weaknesses within your energetic field. Because again, what are attachments and entities and all of this are negative thought forms that have taken on a life of their own and let them play out. And it's very real, because as soon as we awaken, it's like a little light goes off in the astral and you're being tagged, you're being targeted. So we've also been clearing out a lot of this targeted person, technology, and again, entities, people connected. So it's happening on all layers and levels and dimensions. And again, always 3D comes kind of last of clearing out, because some of us have been targeted people. Some of us had, a lot of electronic interference. It's happening, things like thoughts being implanted in your head, projected into your mind. And you need to, through your, spiritual journey, figure out that these thoughts are not mine. You need to figure out what is what, when you have, how to clear out these energetic interferences and keep your field sovereign. Again, I've shared before things like a 12D shield technique. My last 2 videos, if you want to see in the description of the videos, you can find the link. Things like this, for me, it's really, you need to do 12D and beyond. You can't just the white bubble doesn't quite do it. For me, it's like you need to connect to source and you need to connect to the crystalline core, and your whole field needs to be in a pillar of light. Bubble of light alone does not help. At least that was my experience. And a 12D shield is like kind of the minimum. And you also need to do this, especially at the beginning throughout the day, to really keep fortifying your field. And at the beginning, you will have more problems with that. And depending again on what your job is here and what you're doing, you will have more problems at times, also depending on the times, like now, than others. But the stronger your field gets and the more integrous and sovereign, the less of a problem you will have. So like the last week or so, I've definitely felt it, and it's not been fun, but you can keep it. You can keep your field sovereign. So that's what you're going for, because that's the only way you can embody your avatar self. That's part of the dark arts training. You need to learn how to wield with this. Yeah. So I know I talk about 12D, and I want to come back to this as well, a few things from the last video. So I explained the basic. So basically, we are at the moment, so what we always are looking at, it's kind of a 12D blueprint, also from the Tree of Life perspective, which is kind of the core, the blueprint of that, okay? But the levels 13, 14, 15 had been so far the pre-meta, the primal sound and light fields. Now, this is merging with, as I'm seeing it, also the 10th, 11th, and 12th dimensional levels. And really, again, I see this all levels and layers merging as one organic creatrix field, where you still have different areas, but not divided as it has been before. And now you have the 16, 17, 18 dimensional fields that are now the God worlds. Okay, now I call that the SAphiRA, or the cosmic womb. And that's kind of now the pre-meta fields. And then you have source. So we're really going 15D, and that's also your core 15-dimensional chakra system, but really what's also happening is it's really just one chakra column. Then you also have spheres within spheres. And what I've also been seeing is the body activations for the forerunners, which is really anchoring you in dimensional no time. And it's also really helping you heal your 12D on a 15D light body. And it really goes beyond that because it's all 144 dimensional subharmonic fields. And really, for me, it's infinite. So I don't like getting hung up on the numbers, but yeah, it's beyond that. It's the same as when we look at the avatar level, and I shared these graphics before on the community page, on my page in Facebook as well. On, for example, the number of incarnates of souls you have within an oversoul, which is 144. And then at the avatar level, you have the 1728. Now that's for normal divine human incarnate, which would have the 12D or 15D blueprint. But as a indigo, you do have 24 to 48 usually DNA strands. That is why we have a lot more to integrate. That's why we have more gifts and abilities, but also more to clear. So you can then take that number of the avatar times 3, because you also have incarnational cells running around in parallel Earth and inner Earth. So it's beyond that. And I shared that within, and that then also adds to the complexity of twin flame relationships for indigos. And what I've also been seeing is that we're going to the new indigo type 4, which is the 72 strands of triple helix DNA. And I see triple helix DNA. And I know other people have not been really reporting on that. But that's what I stand for. That's what I work with. And again, that's the highest potential. And what I'm seeing right now with the body activations, and that's also connected to the Eucharistic body activations. It's really just, it's connected to, and I'm not trying to bring too many words in here, but it does activate, and you can look them up on ascensionglossary.com. And always take what resonates and doesn't, and leave the rest. But basically, it's these body activations are basically healing our whole morphogenetic field and the 12D beyond light body levels. So we're going beyond 5D. Okay. And again, this is for the forerunners mainly. Also depends on what your potential is. It depends on what you've already activated and healed. And then also, obviously, the rest of humanity, will have a different experience, but we are really holding the shield. We are holding the tribal shield as the 12 original tribes, as these original Magi-Greg queens and kings. We are holding the DNA blueprints for the planetary morphogenetic field, for the planetary blueprint, for the planetary body. And these are all planetary body activations of the masculine and feminine, so of the Krystar and of the Albion body. And there's a lot happening here within the UK island grids. In connection to that, in connection to the 11th Stargate, that also connects from the Island's Eye in Hove, in the north of Dublin, to Cornwall, up to Scotland, up to Stonehenge, and other points. But basically, there's a lot happening, which also has to do with the return of Arthur, King Arthur, and the whole, the round tables. And the thing about the round tables and the King Arthur legends is actually that the round tables also refer to the rainbow round tables, which we are running in the fields through the 13, 14, 15 dimensional frequency bands. So the Trinity codes really running through the grids, running rainbow rounds, which is Kira, Shah, and Kunda ray frequencies, which are these high dimensional God world frequencies that we now are having access to through the merging of the and divine union of the masculine and feminine, which is within the planetary body, the Krystar, and the Albion body. So it's like literally the masculine and feminine body within the planet is merging through our divine inner union experience. That's what I'm seeing. And has a lot to do with the Land Marcia Islands in the UK with the 11th Stargate and the return of King Arthur, because he's carrying the masculine 1212 electrical codes of the Macabre. And this is really heralding also the return of the masculine, and it's connected. I mean, again, you can see this, I'm not too focused on the whole Ascension glossary terminology, but it's just one thing I use. You can use it in any which way. Other people might see it as, Shiva is returning, whatever it may be representing for you. It's the divine masculine within us all that is rising. And that's what's happening. And ultimately, it's a divine masculine and feminine rising within us all together as one, because the way I'm seeing it, they can only rise as one. They have fallen as one. They are one. There is no other way. Anything else just is an illusion of maybe time and space, where the feminine maybe feels she's waiting for the masculine to take action, which she is. But also it always happens on both sides. Everything happens in divine frequency alignment when everything is perfectly aligned and when it's supposed to happen, ultimately. So all we can do is always just relax and keep listening for guidance. But I've been very clearly receiving next step guidances, and there's a lot of change, a lot of movement coming up. And it's very much, I was given the code 000 for the transmission today, instead of it's a total shift, it's a total reset. That's also what the divine union of masculine and feminine is bringing about. And I saw on the four of them basically being, coming to herogamic union and being married in the eyes of God. So within the Holy Trinity. So at higher level, this is completed. And this is now evening the way for this to play out in the physical. And this also with the anchoring of the masculine body and the feminine also reclaiming her body parts within a planetary body, and it's happening for our own transformation. This is then also, what is it triggering? And this is then also triggering this release of all this black magic and the remaining spells and hexes and curses that have kept them apart. It's connected to the reversals, the gender reversals, and all these reversal grids, because it's connected to Mary and Michael reversals. So it's this masculine, feminine archetypal reversals that have been running in the grids, and they have been keeping us apart. And again, it's keeping us internally separated and fragmented from these energies with one another, with anyone. That's why we're at odds, and it comes back to literally now this whole shift of us focusing on what we don't agree on and getting divided. The ones who should stay together, getting divided over differences in opinion, to coming together and focusing on what we do have in common and what we can celebrate in one another, and celebrating our differences instead of demonizing them, and, where we will no longer abandon and reject one another. Because that is always us abandoning and rejecting parts within ourselves. And everything we judge within another, we always judge within ourselves. All these triggers. So they're always gifts, aren't they? Like anything difficult, triggering is always a gift. It's always showing us something where we need to integrate and love more of ourselves, see more deeply, and hold ourselves together, so to say, as one. And that's happening now. So it's already happened. I see. So this is also what's literally clearing the remaining debris within the field. And it's literally just divine love, and these, waves upon waves, they keep opening us up to ever greater levels of self-love and love for one another and all of life everywhere. And that is the unity grid. That's us being the anchors for that we then no more longer fall for, and we've been, clearing the separation that was left in us. And yes, it's very difficult at times. And many of us have been, I'm also actually just half an hour before I came on, I was so over all of this again, because it's been difficult, I don't even have a room to myself where I can close the door, and I've had trouble with the freaking water for over a week. I can't even have a bath or a hot shower tonight. The things that keep you sane, it's these buttons are being pressed. And it's like, we're over this. And now we've cleared all of this crap that is telling us that we can't have and do the things we want to do. Total freedom. Because it's not even about money. We want freedom. So let's think freedom. Okay, and let's claim now, because that's where we're at. Because when we have that frustration of seeing what's wrong out there, we came here to make the magic happen, reclaiming our power to now know that I know I need to travel. I know I need to have a home, and I know that I more than freaking deserve it. And I want this for everyone. That's why we're doing it. And that's why we're also uncomfortable. Again, if we were comfortable, would we want change? No. So everybody's uncomfortable now. So it's a good thing. Frustration, anger is a good thing, but you don't use it in order to complain, but you also say, I freaking hate this, okay? And I'm so done, but it comes from a place where you're empowered because we now purged all the disempowerment and all the victim consciousness, okay? Because we've taken on responsibility for everything we have created so far from a place of, I can see the lesson, everything is perfect, isn't it? Because otherwise I wouldn't be the person I am today. Otherwise I wouldn't have learned the lesson I learned. So everything is always perfect. Now, the more we can drop into that, the more perfect our realities become. And that's where we're going at now. And we're really reclaiming our power over our timelines and realities, okay? Which are super quantum now, because we cleared out all the shit that has prevented us and has constantly interfered with us and trying to grind us down like the bullies on the playground that we've now gotten rid of, okay? Final dustings here. And ultimately, it's negative thought forms. Remember this. If you feel attacked, neutrality, okay? Know that your field, when you're in your power, blast it, okay? There's nothing more powerful than you when you stay in your power. Know this, okay? And it's okay sometimes to feel whatever, overpowered or in victim, whatever. Just feel it and then move through it. And then just know, okay, this is just a story I've been telling myself. And now I'm releasing this along with all the thoughts I had. But this is not who I truly am. Because all these old realities are just based on bad thinking, ultimately. Okay, all inverted thought forms that are not helping us. And we've released them now. And then what is left is us fully empowered and us knowing the divine masculine, he creates. He is now the change, the action that makes the change happen. Because that's what we came here for. And it's very much in connection with the divine masculine feminine 144 coming into divine union, because that's us going back to the start, because their split is basically the beginning of the fallen consciousness, so to say. So we're reversing all of this by unifying divine masculine feminine again. It comes back also to the Holy Family and the tribes again, the split of the Essenes, or the 12 original tribes that came here and have seeded humanity. And it's basically the spiritual community being split. And we heal this within ourselves by healing the inner split. And then everything else will come together. Now the monads and the soul groups and the tribes will come back together again. 1, 4, 4. And so it is. Because that's what brings online the Edenic and Paradisian realities. Us going back to the start, unifying again. Because we were split. It's a split in the families. It's the core of any society, is the family. If the family sticks together and is solid, nothing can separate them. And again, that's what I've explained this in other videos. The whole Lion Stargate, or everything went a little bit sour, is very much connected to the royal families, the lion families, the split within the families. And we can see this throughout history being explained in other stories. Or if you have a Judas, basically telling on Joshua, these kind of things. It's always within the groups, within the family, that the split and the betrayal happens. So that's what we need to heal. We need to heal this first of all within ourselves, the inner betrayal. Where have we betrayed ourselves? Where are we not, where are we abandoning ourselves? So again, go back in the videos. I've spoke more about this if you're, kind of working through those challenges. But everything is really a reflection of the deep-seated beliefs we carry within, these deep-seated patterns we carry often from childhood, and that connect us to other lifetimes, really, because so we have something to work on. But it comes back to the family. It's the core of every society. So once we heal the inner trinity, the divine masculine, feminine, inner child within, that's bringing them together our families again in the physical, the true soul family, which should be together and who's here to create and who's igniting literally Eden and paradise from within us. And the 144 are the original twin flames. And I don't even like to use these words, but there are code words and they do relate. And ultimately, we're all connected to this. And these are just templates and blueprints for new divine relationship and divine union templates. Yeah, but we don't really want to use even boxes because it's beyond that. It's really about coming to divine union with all of life everywhere. That's the unity grid. And anyone helps us in our lives, no matter what kind of relationship, to do that, especially the ones who are triggering us and who are challenging. So again, everything is always a gift, isn't it? So the more we can remember this, the more this will become enjoyable and the more will flow for us. And that's where we are now, where we can really flow. And I really feel the abundance coming in because there's so much connected to us coming to divine union within and truly loving ourselves, because that's the magic key, isn't it? Those parts of us where we are insecure and where we don't fully love ourselves, because that's what especially twin flames will like push every tiny little button there is, and will bring up all these parts in us that we still haven't fully loved about ourselves. And we've really gone now past blaming anything on another person where we hold everybody responsible. But again, we're all projecting to a different layer and level. Like I look back on my videos always and do the activations as well. And they're always clear a lot for me too. And I always incorporate more of what I'm saying more within myself. Because I'm always, again, speaking to myself. Everything we write, everything we say, it's almost always, there's only one of us here on that level. So you're always giving yourself advice, And that's also where we then get to a point where we can see it's like everything is perfect. Everybody's exactly where I need to be. Like, I don't need to be posting. I don't need to be doing anything. Everybody's exactly where I need to be. Like, I don't want anyone to be dependent on me posting to know what's going on at all. I know everybody's just perfectly sovereign. That's the only kind of people I want to be attracting anyway, is I want to remind you that you're here to lead yourself and to remind other people they're here to lead themselves. That's the only way we can be in a unity consciousness where it's like interdependency, where we know we're not an island. We're all dependent on one another. We all influence and affect one another. We take that responsibility very seriously, but we also have totally freedom to be ourselves, But again, it's about not being self-destructive, because that's the whole psyche we see playing out. It's really the whole collective psyche that is hurting itself. It's self-destructive mechanisms, and then they play out also in aggression out there. So it's self-hate, ultimately, that's turned outward, that we see within the darker shadow aspects within the collective psyche. And it's one of the things also why I haven't been able to offer like private sessions. I had to really focus on the collective psyche I was shown. Like when I did private sessions, it would be no more than 2 or 3 a week usually, or every 2 or 3, like every couple of days or so, because would never be just 1 hour, it would be 2 or 3, and there's always so much more involved. It's a whole thing. Like I'm not someone who can, do 5 or 6 sessions a day at all. That's not how I work whatsoever. It's a whole different thing. And usually people just need me once and then they're good. But I couldn't do that anymore because there's so much involvement and enmeshment. And I need to really look at the whole. And I really need to trust that I would be carried and people would understand enough, because I know, I'm not someone that tells people what they want to hear. People want to hear what's going to happen, when it's going to happen. They want to have some channeling usually. That's what they have wanted so far. They haven't wanted, usually many people, someone like me to tell them, it's up to you, it's up to us. I'm not here to tell you what's going to happen. I'm here to tell you what we're going to make happen. Let's do it together. That's what I'm here for. But people don't really want to hear that ultimately. Like now they're shifting because they can see this is really what gets us to the earth. It's not by me telling you what's going to happen, because then you keep waiting here and sitting here and waiting for it, and you're not doing anything to make it happen. But I've been very aware of that. And that's one of the reasons I did like a group for a little while, and it was still on donation. But I know people have not been wanting to pay money in general for spiritual services, but I would rather pay it for someone, like a psychic, to tell them what's going to happen instead of them having someone self-empower them, and tell them you're responsible for it. and maybe point out some things that are not so, that they might not want to hear. So I had to trust, though, that I would be carried, and some people would think this is disempowering, and you should be building a business and you should have a website and whatever. But I've been shown, no, this is not what I'm working towards. I'm working for ascension. This is my only focus. And what do I have to do in order to do my part to make this happen for all of that, of us? And that's the way I've been shown this. But I have been very much dependent on people donating. And the last few months, it has not been easy because, everybody has been having less money and for whatever other reasons. So it's not been easy and can't go on, quite frankly, because I need a home. I need all these things. And I've literally done everything I could that I was shown, and I've always was carried. But now we're also ready for the next level, and things need to change one way or another. On this note, if you like to support me back, if what I share helps you, you can donate underneath in the description box. I very much appreciate that, because I think also people sometimes, depending on how I say this, people don't quite get it. I think, like, I don't have another income, and I'm really doing this. It's no disempowerment whatsoever. This is what I was shown, like surrendering to divine will, and what you're shown from one moment to the next, and without any security. Takes a lot of guts, actually. And I had to do this over and over again. And there's no safety. I never know what's going to happen the next day, so to say. But that's also the thing. I could literally be put on the street tomorrow, and I know I would be fine because I've done it all before. And that gives you total freedom. That really lets you transcend any fears. It doesn't mean that I don't have any fears, but I know that I can quantum jump really high, really far. Because I'm not afraid of, like, I know I could transcend anything that would be put in front of me. And that gives you freedom. And that, because fear is also what is attracting entities and attachments and all these situations to you, because you then need to face them in order then to say, okay, no, I will be fine one way or another. And some of us, had stronger initiations as others. But we also need to, and I'm not saying this, what I'm doing is for anyone else. It's nothing wrong with people offering sessions. I just couldn't do it. Literally, I do a lot of grit and gate work. I do a lot of stuff, plus share a lot. And that takes so much of my energy. I literally haven't had a life for many years, and I'm so over it. The last few days, I've had so many pains physically, like a constant on and off migraine and other things. And it's like, I'm really done with this. And I do know that it's literally going to be like, literally watch Inception. I had many quotes in there. It has some plot failures, which are really annoying. But anyway, it has some good quotes in there. And it's really like waking up from a dream, and your body is totally going to be healed, fully healed. No more pain, no more suffering. So we're going totally for. We've now cleared out all these fallen timelines that want to bring us into some false 5D, medbed, I don't know, where we still have some AI timeline running for another 900 years. Delete is already poof. Okay, none of this. We're going full-flown organic creatrix field. No more interference, no AI, as if it never happened, because it's like a parallel timeline where the invasion has never happened. Okay, so totally just blank out any kind of lower timeline, galactic war, going through some last, interdimensional war scenes, because ultimately, once you understand all of this is projected by the mind, you just need to plug it now. We've cleared enough of all of this, and I've cleared enough of this. Okay, again, it's not about just imagining it's not there. It's about we've cleared enough, and now we can quantum leap. Now we can imagine as if it never has happened. In divine timing, frequency alignment, any moment now. That's what I see. And that's what many see as the flash, solar flash or whatever. But ultimately, it's constantly you just, whenever you sleep and wake up, sometimes do you even know, whether there was no flash or some, the world has ended and you're just in a totally different reality. Ultimately, it happens every moment. We're constantly switching timelines of realities, frequencies. So it's much more quantum And you shouldn't see it linear anymore anyway. I would really go away from cycles, transits, time altogether. Cancel, clear, delete. 0 point, everything. And the 0 point is divine neutrality. It's not that you don't have any feelings. Like I've been going through intensity, not just on a physical level, but I still keep, like I let out here, like, moaning here and there. I had to. I was just some annoying people. I just like when the energies are so dense, I really just, I'm in the, God, I hate people. You just really don't like them. And I can't say this without, I don't really hate them. You know what I mean? It's just, you need to bring it up and out. You do need to let go of a few fucks because you just need to clear that air. And this is also what I do a lot in my videos. We're moving and clearing energy here. Again, there's a lot happening beyond the words and everything. So, even if I say these are aspects of me, ultimately, I'm a channel for source. I'm a channel for the energies, and I always clear energies. Like I've done crazy stuff in places where it's like, you're literally there just purging the freaking energies through you. And you just need to see there's a play where you also take it, you're not disassociating from yourself, but you need to kind of have a certain distance to not, go down in despair and have a bit of a laugh, because we're needing to get to the laugh point now, because that's what switches it all from really hard work to having more fun with it. And this is what's available now. Once we get the joke that we have imagined and projected all of this, you need to see then, it's like, you see the insanity, okay? And then you need to, because you either cry or lose your mind, or you laugh and see the cosmic joke. And that's kind of the choice now. Okay, because this has been insane. You need to understand that, how people think we're crazy. We obviously understand, no, this is a collective psychosis that we're clearing here. Obviously, it's the other way around, but you see, that's the insanity which we're dealing with here. And you need to be so proud of yourself to not go crazy by knowing what you know, by people giving you, people attacking us, giving us such a hard time, the psychological warfare we've been through for the last 2.5 years, all of this shit, and still being positive and trying our best and being a good person and like, okay, I have compassion instead of wanting to wring your neck kind of thing. So it's like, well done. We have survived the craziest time on an internal level that you could imagine, where you're still, here doing the work, holding the vision, despite all this shit we've just been through. Yeah, built for this. Again, many, many lifetimes. Yeah, this is obviously nothing. I mean, if we again compare this to some other lifetimes where we've been tortured and raped and cut into pieces, I guess it's a piece of cake. This is just much more psychological. Again, because this is the thing, this is where it has originated in the mind. So this is where you go back to. And it's a one mind. Anything else is part of the illusion. It's one collective consciousness. And this is why this reset is also collective. So I'm ready now for travel. I'm going to pack my bags. I'm out of here. Okay. That's what I know. And I know it's for real. I can feel it. I can feel the horizon is clearing. I've already seen the sun is coming. Okay, there's the dawn. Fresh new dawn is here. The 000 is very much a reset point. And we're not doing linear anymore at all. So I'm not going to talk about this in any other way, shape, or form. And everything has already shifted. But we are now again here to make the change happen with action. So whatever that means for you, we will have been given instruction sets, or basically tune in, in meditation, really connect with your soul, your higher self. It's really, I daily connect with my soul and call it in. So I merge with my soul, oversoul, avatar, rishi, which is your guardian or ascended master level, and then pure source consciousness, all as one. Okay. And you keep merging with that and you keep calling it forth. I mean, it's not as if there needs to be a certain technique or guidance as such. For me, it's all about your natural connection. Like I said before, I've never been very spiritual before I had my awakening, but ultimately I always had a very innate connection to God. And I would always ask to be given the strength and the wisdom to master whatever challenge I was given. And I always knew that there was a higher plan. There was always a higher learning and purpose behind things. And I always try to understand people and help out. And that's another thing. It's like any of our weaknesses, or shadow aspects that we've been busy transforming. Once you understand they're actually also your strong points. So let's say I've been raised to be kind of a codependent person. So fixing things, helping other people, being the counselor and all of that stuff. So I needed to train certain parts of that out of myself, obviously. But ultimately, it's also what I'm here for. It's also my gift. So you can see it as it's my weakness, but it's also my strength. The same for tenacity. I'm very tenacious. I'm very, strong-willed. It sometimes makes it hard for me to let go and, to know when to stop and let go of certain things. But it also makes what I'm doing possible because that's what I need. I need my energy and I need my sometimes also I'm taking no crap attitude and that certain energy I sometimes bring in to cut through the crap. But again, these are all energies, we were transmuting them through us. I don't attach to them. They're not who I am. We play with them, especially the feminine. She's like a vessel for transmutation, especially for emotional energies. And you just don't attach so much to it. And you just become, you flow with the cosmic waves because again, no bad or good feeling ever lasts. So you just need to let it flow through you, not attach to it because the attachment causes the suffering really. And then it can just flow through you more unhindered and everything becomes more of a flow and more of a dance of energies because we're really here to master how to work with energies, to direct them, to focus them, to amplify them, to transmute them. So like anger, when we've had enough, okay, we then take this into change energy. So what do we want to change? It's the same as, let's say we complain about the landlord. Well, did you put the foot down with them? Did you try and draw a boundary? So that's what we need to see, where we still complaining, giving our power away. It's okay to complain, but you just then go further. It's a thing with anything. We're so done with it, but we go further. We take this energy and we don't let it disempower us. We transmute it into positive change energy. That's a transmutation of, all the mud into gold, the crap into gold. So that's why we're here for the alchemists. And that is full embodiment now of no longer letting the outside influence our state of well-being. That doesn't mean that it doesn't influence us, but it doesn't let us, we don't let it overpower us. We don't let it like drag us down. The same with anything happening in our lives, okay? We hold the balance again within the craziness and the madness that plays out on this journey, quite frankly. And we see it for what it is. And the more we can see through all of it and we don't get triggered anymore by it, the more it will disappear into the background. And especially when it's so intense like lately, you just lay low. But now is really the time for us to rise. I mean, this is all about the rising of the masculine feminine. This is all about the rising of us in divine union, of us coming together now. This has been massive DNA activations and plasma light body activations. Like we're getting ready to fly, quite frankly. And I see again that the divine unions and counterparts coming together as very as a key to igniting that at the planetary level. Because again, the masculine and the feminine, it's the Krystar SAPHIRA or the Krystar Sophia or the androgynous Albion body. It's because it's the same as God. It's like Father God. It's not masculine or feminine, it's one. So God manifests itself on the material world as masculine and feminine, but they're one. They're not one without the other. So both have to be manifested, which is happening now through us, literally. This is why this has been also so intense. This is also connected to DNA activations and then our light body healing and activations of them, the masculine and feminine, the divine union, that's ascension. Ultimately, Hirogamic union is ascension, so it happens for us all in different ways. But I do believe these core 144 and original twin flames are, because they carry these Edenic paradisian codes, and they are the core of the monad, which is what we are collectively, the logos, which we are healing again, and it's connected to a tribal shield, and it's connected to our original, to the 12D plus blueprint. It goes beyond 12D, as we just said. And that is really what's igniting the light body. That's what's igniting New Earth now. That's what's igniting. It's all interconnected. It's quantum. And it's the same for masculine and feminine. If there's any issue ever between them in any kind of relationship, it's always from both sides. Any insecurities, any shame, blame, guilt, any of the stuff is all from both sides. So as we clear this, the other clears this, and we're all quantum connected and entangled. Quantum entangled. And that's why, whenever we see something playing out in our reality, it's also something we carry within us. So we always have within to go. We can't make other people do certain things. So we go within, and that's so we can, readjust our realities. And that's what we've been busy doing. And as we change the way we look at things, literally this is a paradigm shift of how we see reality, of where we're no longer the victims of anyone and anything, where we've created all of this. This is when we're taking responsibility again for our creations. That's when we become the master of the dream. Then nothing of this lies outside of us anymore. And that is to be accessible in the oneness. Only when we're one with everything, when there's no more separation, which we've been busy clearing, that's when we know nothing of this is outside of me. And that's when you know you can change this reality. That's when your power comes in. And that's not some woo-woo wishful thinking at all. That's you haven't seen through it. Because you need to shift your paradigm in order to shift your reality, the way you look at things, and then the things you look at change. It's the only way. If you think the same things, you get the same realities, same for what we do and so forth, as we know. So, sorry. Just having a look at the comments quickly. Yeah, and it's very much now moment time. So this whole controlling, organizing, planning goes right out the window, especially right now. It's all about embracing the uncertainty of what lies ahead. It's going to get wild, but in a really good way. I see a lot of fun. I see a lot of adventure. We've cleared out all the crap, and this is now wide open. The playing field for the big kids is wide open, but we need to go for it. We need to jump in. This doesn't happen by itself. So let the fun begin. Quite frankly, let's call in the abundance, whichever way this happens, because I know this is our time now. I know without a shadow of a doubt. Who else knows? Who's with me? Because we declare this. And this is not just, again, I mean, often we have to obviously thought, yeah, this is it. But again, I mean, there is no false hope in general ever whatsoever. If anyone ever says this to you, and this comes from false ascension idea I'm telling here, no. I know what goes on. I know about the architecture. I know what we're dealing with here, okay? Again, we had to clear this to a certain degree, and now we can quantum leap and jump. And again, anything can happen at any moment in time anyway. I think most of us can agree on that. And I've been shown we're quantum leap and jumping to future reality where as if none of this has ever happened in a quantum now moment, for everybody just remembers the true reality. And then you also have the organic realities again, the true memories, and the health with our DNA, with our cells, with the planetary body. And yes, the DNA activations and the solar activations are very much part of this. And there's a lot of solar activations coming now. We've already had a lot. Oh my God, on the 4th, was it, when I had the 7 M flares? There was like a triple M flare going on in the evening here. And I was just talking to my neighbor and friend for a while, and I was literally just tripping and totally, I was so dizzy the last few days as well, nauseous, but it was really intense. And you can see, yeah, a lot of DMT release. It can be very trippy, can be very high frequency, but it's also so, it's the same as when you have a lot of love energy and it anchors in a lot of high light. It just brings up all the crap. So we keep going, expansion, contraction, but it's now really fine tuning. We've cleared out all the really heavy stuff. I can feel a lot of light body activations and DNA activations, which is bringing everything very rapidly online now, because anything that has prevented us from doing so, also from the chakra column now, all of the seals and everything being released. Again, everybody's a slightly different point, but I'm speaking from this is what's coming in, becoming available, especially from a forerunner perspective. And as enough of us do this then again, what I'm seeing is triggers, as enough of us, activate fully this planetary void. So keep seeing everybody healed, keep seeing everything healed, keep seeing ascension of now, everything, clean waters, clean air, everything clean. So keep focusing on what you want to see, especially right now. It will manifest very, very quickly. Like in Inception, where I said the movie, it's like, because they're the architects there. When they go into the dreams, okay, and we are in a dream within a dream. So anything is kind of not real unless you're in source. Source would be the only level that's real. Now, we came here to dream our reality. So it's like a, video game in the sense of just using word to explain it. Yes, it's real as in we need to experience it, but let us change the dream now in what we want to experience. So you're the architect. Imagine you're God. Because once you merge with the oneness and with God, you are in alignment with divine will. So you're not going to be some demigod acting from an ego crazy perspective. Okay, it's in alignment with the law of one. What do you want to create now? Think from that perspective now. Limitless. It will be in alignment with divine will if you are tuned in with that and have totally transcended your ego attachment to the old 3D realities. Merge more and more with that every day. Keep saying, keep merging with that. Keep merging quantum style, timelessly, always now available with your already ascended diamond avatar self, or however you want to call that. Keep merging with that. Keep activating your DNA. Keep talking to it. Keep giving command to source and your higher levels. Why outsourcing it? I don't know why people keep calling in all the archangels and ascended masters and so forth. Like just previously, we had a lot of problems, let's just say, with negative entities pretending there are certain ascended masters and beings and whatever, and so much on the Galactic Federation level and all levels really in layers, okay, also in Guardian layer. All these channelings that everybody wants to hear, go direct. You are here to connect with source. I cannot say this any more clearly, because this is what all of this is about. You want to connect to source and your higher identities. Yes, at the highest level, you're one with all of them. But there's been a lot of interference and fuckery at the astral level and in the spiritual community. So for me, it's always been about go direct, source, your higher levels. That's what you want to merge with anyway. Why do you want to hear what other people have to say? It's like talking to all these ascended masters or the channelings. It's like literally just talking to other people, telling you what they think. And everybody has a bit of truth. That's why it's so important. Just take what resonates, leave the rest. But there's been distortions everywhere. So just be careful for, what kind of predictions and so do you want to feed your attention towards and co-create? Why do people ask so what's going to happen? I'm glad. Okay, now I know. So just because somebody told you this and this is going to happen, you think this is it? Because it gives you security, because now you know what's going to happen. Instead of you asking yourself, what do you want to happen? What do you want to see? What do you want to manifest? This is what this is about. And that's the issue. This is the shift that needs to happen within the spiritual community. Instead of them people waiting for people to tell them what is going to happen. What do you want to co-create? What if nothing was off limits? That's what we're tuning into now. And you want to bring forward your piece, what you're here to co-create, what's in your DNA, because you're that one unique piece of the orchestra which brings the whole music of the spheres together, which is the tribal shield, which is you being in your unique, authentic self and doing your thing, because you're a whole vibe that cannot be replicated, quite frankly. And that's you activating your field in your DNA. Because your authentic self is this multidimensional DNA template that you carry, and it's very unique to you. And you should not be a copy and try to emulate anyone else. Yes, we learn from other people and we get inspired. We don't want to copy. And it's the same for getting lost in groups in the spiritual community where we need to fit in or think we're following some kind of, standard or teaching, or need to be in a certain way or talk a certain way in order to be accepted. So all this goes out the window. You do your thing. You're authentic. and the right people will gravitate to you. And this is all about us now shining our true unique light, and our soul tribe, we will magnetize each other to ourselves, to one another. Can anyone see my comments, Graham? Yes, I can see it, but I don't know which one you say. Yeah, migraines. I'm so over migraines. But yeah, huge third eye openings, obviously. Pineal pituitary glands. I mean, it's the whole, also the crown and third eye, again, are merging. And you have the soul sudden as again, I see this as different layers, okay? There are different layers to your whole light body layers, and I still use these areas and connect to these different chakra areas. Anyway, so the crown and the third eye are really part of the masculine and feminine merging as well. So they merge kind of in one. And then you have the soul stars, kind of a new crown. And there's also something like a crown twinning and heart twinning that happens as part of the hierogamic activations. Again, if you want to know also about the different stages of hierogamic union from a light body level, of what happens actually, of what this actually means, from a more, mechanical perspective, ascension perspective, look up an ascension glossary. I think Heroes Gamos, a hierogamic union. I posted it the other day on my page as well, a few days ago, on Facebook, and I think on the community page here on YouTube. But sometimes it's good because there are different stages to this, and it's again activating just to understand that, what is this actually about, what we're talking about here, and to learn a little bit more. And again, take what resonates, leave the rest. Don't get lost in a mental state, because we are going beyond the mind, and I do see very much returning to telepathic communication, because I do see words and thinking in a way is an issue. Now we do need clear thinking, okay, and clarity of mind. But we're going kind of beyond this, because it's not this kind of ego-stressed monkey mind kind of thinking. It's a more Buddhic mind, just perception, just knowing and realization, state of perception. And I'm looking forward to that. And we are reconnecting also through these diamond grid activations. So 12, 13D grid, that's connecting many different layers of grids. We're also connecting to the cosmic heart grid and the emerald heart grid, which is very much a telepathic grid cosmically, which is connecting us to all cosmically, telepathically. And many of us can feel this. I've always been quite telepathic in general. And to some people, we will have more, stronger connections than others. And this is very much coming to the forth. And language, again, is what also creates a lot of separation. The you, me, when I speak, you, me, us, them, we, it's a separation in past, present, future. And that's kind of what goes away with 5D and beyond. And we're going beyond. And that's what really allows unity consciousness. So I really see language as literally part of the separation, what is keeping us apart, because so much gets lost in separation, in translation. And language, like even just, when I speak or when I write, everybody reads or understands this through their own lens of perception. I mean, I try my best. And when I say I don't care what other people think, it's not that I don't care from a perspective of whatever. It's more like I need to have a certain level of not being influenced by other people's perception of me. Otherwise, I would become self-conscious and would try to act or say certain things or say what people want to hear. And that's not what I'm here for. That's what I kind of mean. I need to be as authentic as I can be. The same with every decision I've taken, also with the donations, is that I cannot, the Patreon account or something else, I cannot work from a place of I need to write a post now, I need to do a video now, I need to do this now in order to keep people happy, because that would not come from an authentic, from a pure frequency. And that's just what I had to anchor. Again, I understand when people need to do this, okay? There's nothing ultimately wrong with it, but it's just us taking a 3D template and applying it to spirituality. And I was not allowed to do this, I was not guided to do this, because I was here to anchor these new templates where we totally have transcend all of these programs fully. And that's just what I've been shown. And again, everybody needs to follow their own inner guidance and advice. What's right for me is not what's right for you. All we can ever really do is share best practice experiences. It's all from experience. Share this with other people, and that's where we're going. It's not about leading and bossing people around, not at all, or being the big teachers. It's literally us sitting together and exchanging from a very equal perspective and position with one another. When I said about a new church, I'm not saying that we need a new church, and obviously love is the religion, and we don't need a church. If then it's nature. Let's redecorate the church to whatever fun places maybe, and clear the rest out of that stuff. Or maybe wish them all away, because they are usually placed on big vortexes, important energy points. That's why a lot of grid workers and so have been clearing all of these places as well. So, yeah, and words, for example, if anyone knows Gene Keys, one of my life's work is impeccability. It's very much to do with words and the power of words. And the thing is, so for example, the way I write and speak, writing even more so, I can be more precise, because obviously you have time to think about exactly what you're saying. And they very much work as activations, as many of you know. And it's very much like automatic writing in a way. So they write themselves, okay? And everything is very much guided in the now moment. And sometimes, even though I know something is going on and I could share it, I'm not guided to share it, okay? I want every one of you also to tune into in yourself. I don't want anyone, again, to be, dependent on what I'm sharing. But again, what I share, it has higher purpose. It works on many different layers. I anchored into the field. I know it has very big power, because I know my word just says it's one of my biggest gifts is that it manifests. So what I speak into the field, what I write into the field, is a strong activation for people who read it. Also, just again, into the field, into the consciousness. And I know it shifts things. The videos as well. So also when I speak, and that obviously we have with all of us, we know words create. Yeah, thoughts create matter. That's what we talk about a lot. But then we also see we go beyond words, because we've lately also been tapping into, so for example, the same words mean different things in different languages. What's maybe offensive in one language isn't in another, the same word. So we need to transcend also the importance of words, or go like, all this whole demonization of certain words, or like when there's a word set, you like over dramatize it, that kind of thing. And we're also reclaiming words, and we're reclaiming terms and symbols and all of that stuff again. Okay, so on one level it's important, yes, but on another level then also you need to transcend it all together, because you don't want to keep it apart. It's about the frequency behind. For example, like some of the people who we call imposters or whatever, they say one thing, but they mean something totally different. It's, they're the masters in reversals. And it's behind the words. The frequency of the words is really what counts ultimately. As we know, sometimes you can use, something, and it's the way you say it can give it a totally different meaning. All of that. So yes, it's important. And then we also totally transcend it. And I do believe we're going beyond the words, because they're bringing a whole lot of problem with it. There's also this one movie, was it Contact or so, where it's like the woman who's like a language expert who then figures out the alien language. I don't know if it was Contact or Arrival, one of them. Maybe Arrival. Anyway, and that kind of goes along those lines as well, where you need to totally transcend language in a way. And that's us quantum leaping. It's part of it. Anyway, let's go away from that. Was there any questions? I also don't want to talk too long today. I just wanted to really tune in with you all, and just wanted to say to really focus on now all new earth creations. We've cleared all the stuff. No, we really need to, like, the masculine within us is now rising, after all this disempowerment and like feeling like death warmed up. So literally the living dead is, we're now, the eternal life flows with all these activations are returning. And we've cleared out all the death seal, the 666 seal, all these miasms, all this crap. Okay. And I hope a lot of us can feel, we're feeling a lot lighter. I know it's been tough the last few days, but we're looking sparkly, and soon we're going to make these new pictures where we look like diamonds. Yeah. The selfies. Now, with the jab, first of all, I do believe there's so many different layers to it. I'm not going to go into too much detail here. Ultimately, whoever needs to transit right now will transit. Okay? Everything serves a higher purpose. I do believe those that have chosen to ascend with Earth, yes, everybody can be healed of anything. That's the quintessence. Nothing is forever. This is all about going also beyond med beds. This is your self-healing ability. It's ultimately the consciousness that has to shift. So it depends on also the jab people. Every person will have a different reaction to this, depending on the state of the body is already in. Again, at a higher consciousness, nothing of this can hurt you. Like I know, they could, force me to have it, and I knew I would not give my consent, and my body would just reject it, because I know my body's intelligent, and I can give it that command. So there are many different layers to this, and I'm not saying it hasn't caused problems with people or that it will, but I feel, again, as the full shift happens, literally everybody I can see is fully healed. It's like a mad bad quantum healing experience, because I don't believe in this whole mad bad rollout at all. It's like a false 5D timeline. So anyway, and I believe again that yes, it has caused problems. Obviously, I'm not for it at all, but I don't think it's as bad as some people have made it out. I certainly don't believe everybody who's taken it is going to die. And yes, healing is totally possible. But again, each person individually, it depends very much, on the soul is in charge. It's with anyone. Anything can happen. You know what I mean? So, and that's the best thing is also once we've made a shift, you're united with everyone, because the separation is part of the illusion. So that's what we need to see here. So even if someone is transiting right now, they're just leaving that body behind because the body is not made for this, and that they're just choosing a different journey. And there are many different options for people. But full healing is what everybody gets. No more reincarnation cycle. No being stuck on some false freaking AI timeline, all right, where some beings can suck a little bit more out of the human soul. No. Because you see, we're all one. Even if you had this running somewhere, this would still affect us. Okay, it's the same as if you have a city with some drug addicts hanging around somewhere and you try to push them into some other corner. It's not as if you get rid of the problem, is it? No. So we're resolving the problem at the root. That's what I'm here for. And this is bringing coherence and reconciliation and harmony to the one consciousness again, which is divine union, which is the unity grid, which is what's already happened at higher level. It's already done. We're just seeing it roll out. And I'm just looking forward to the fireworks and having a whole lot of fun now. So that's what I'm seeing. So see everybody healthy. Stop projecting shadows, stop projecting entities, stop projecting evil onto the walls. That's the original sin that we are reversing, as I see it, metaphorically speaking, is us projecting our own shit onto the walls of the hologram. All pull this all back in, okay? You can still see people clearly, but you can see that only hurt people hurt people. If people would know better, they would do better, believe me, because they would know what depends on it. Because we're all one. And what we do upon another, we literally do to ourselves. That's the self-destructive insanity within the psyche. But it has forgotten it as one. That's the only reason why parts of the consciousness can behave that way and others allow it and look away. So that's what we are resolving within our own lives. And as enough of us do this then also triggers the shift in realities, as enough of us have fully remembered now how this really all works. So we're no longer projecting and pointing fingers. It doesn't mean that we can't see it for what it is, far from it. But we don't do it from a judgmental, hating point. We do it from a compassionate point, but also not taking it anymore. And knowing that we have the power to override it. So whenever you're faced with pictures of, poverty or scarcity or war or whatever, override. No, you have a power to override. You see everybody happy and healthy, everybody provided for. You see new earth now. You see crystalline clear waters. You call forth clear skies. Okay, you do this from a place of empowerment, from knowing you can do this. And I'm transmitting this frequency here now because we can, because we hold this in our DNA. And this is what we came for, because we are the creators and nobody else is doing this for us. We are the heroes of our own journey, of our own story, and we are writing the script. Okay? Because we're waking up from the dream, we're waking up from the spells now fully. And it's like, let's create, because all that what needed to be shed. And ultimately everything was perfect. Okay? And then we release. This is that forgiveness, no more karma as such, because everything had to be the way it was. It doesn't mean that people get away with it, but it means it's the end of all of this. No more victimizer consciousness. It totally quantum collapses all remaining wars. They've started here and then they project out. We need to say this is the end. And peace obviously starts within, comes back to the family. So look within your own environment, within yourself, own inner fragmentation or war or imbalances to left, disharmony. Resolve them. Anyone within your immediate circle, whatever you call family, it means many things. And we are redefining all of this. Okay, totally new templates. And that Krystar SAphiRA template that a lot of us carry the blueprints for, okay, that's where we need to do the hard work, because once we then embody full embodiment, it copies out to humanity. It really will, because it's like, it's still people need to make the choice, yeah, but it will be like picking up these templates much easier. So what we had to work for so hard to transcend all this ancestral and whatever crap, you know, because it's non-personal, it just is. But we're doing the hard work. This then goes out into the field for people to easier pick up now on the new ways and behaviors and ways of thinking. And I think you can see the change now. I think by now we all see the change, so we don't need to talk about this anymore. So all the chains and spells and seals have broken, dissolved. We are free now. Claim that freedom from within. Claim your co-creatorship. And impose new earth now. As in Inception, what I meant to say is there, when you're the architect, you also can just basically look as if you're taking these buildings away now. Anything artificial, holographic inserts. Tune into your reality, what's organic. Where are holographic inserts? Can you see the new earth realities beyond of what you can see and are walking around in? Because it's a holographic platform. Tune into the organic creatrix field, activate it, activate New Earth now from deep within. I also have activations on my SoundCloud. The link is below. I think one is literally called New Earth now, which is very good for that. And if that's your thing. And basically keep focusing on healing. Connect to your heart. Connect to divine love now. Connect to source. Literally let it fill you up, your field. Keep tuning into love, stay there, and keep filling up on that frequency and let it heal you. That's why I'm at. That you really just need to go kind of that general now, because it's really quantum healing us now very quickly. The power of divine love is doing that. And it all comes back to the self. That's where it all originated from. That's where we can fix it and heal it from without the fixing of something is wrong with us. It's just like, okay, that's not, helping or serving me. But you need to love it all up before you can change it, because we can't hate ourselves into embodiment, that's for sure, in self-love. So, and we then also, this is then, when we then fully love ourselves, we totally love others. And other people can help us with this as well. And we're not supposed to do this here on our own. Like, really not. I don't believe that, because nobody can. I don't think any of us has ever done any of this on our own. Everybody has always helped us, whether the good or the bad, sort of thing. But now it's really about connecting with the people that can see us, that we have soul resonance with, that we, want to create awesome things with. Like, I really feel party time. And yeah, I think we helped clear this a little bit today, because I know it's been really dense the last few days. But keep tuning into the new crystalline grids, keep anchoring your light, keep shining your light, keep being your authentic self, keep coming from the heart, because really the heart is so key to all of this. It's literally, it's your permanent seed atom, which is also literally the crystalline core of the earth, is the crystalline heart of the earth as I see it. And is this fully activates within the 144, which is really a code number. Okay, this activates the crystalline core of the earth. This fully completes this pole shift and magnetic flip to the natural and super magnetism of Mother Earth. Okay, because the magnetosphere, as it has been so far, has been artificially manipulated. And the tribal shield now is the plasma buffer shield, the organic shield, the tribal shield around Earth that basically replaces this. And again, it's our natural, or the Earth's supermagnetism that's returning the natural magnetism. And it also shifts the poles. I see 4 poles. And it's even beyond that. Don't even, it's really about the heart and the activation, obviously, of us, because this is also where the monadic activation happens. And you literally connect to your soul and source. So that's why, a lot of this has been about trying to close us down with fear in our hearts. Because what is fear? Fear closes your heart down. That's why, they need negative emotions to manifest. Now the emotions, that's the power of your heart. That's why your heart has the power, is ultimately what helps you manifest your thoughts. You can't just have thoughts without emotions. You either need negative fear or positive emotions to manifest it, no? And we're definitely doing the switch over. No, I was not even thinking of doing an activation tonight, unless anybody, no, I don't feel it tonight. I don't think. Does anybody feel, like, how are you guys feeling in general? Yeah, the energies have shifted, they're shifting. We can maybe do a teeny tiny one. I can do just a teeny tiny light language thing. But then I just need 1 little minute. Yeah, no, we have to stuff on SoundCloud, but I do a tiny little bit of light language. So just give me 1 little minute. And if anyone has any questions they want to ask. Mine's for racing. The crack from Sunday. Yeah, we do a little light language activation. Yeah, it's very difficult. It's very roller coaster like, and that's why you have to really be the calm in the storm. That's the 0 point feel. It's not that you don't feel anything. It's really just keep coming back to the heart. Keep remembering that literally kind of this isn't true. Like I had to just the last few days, especially, it says, oh my God, we've been doing this for so long. We've been holding the vision, and it's like we don't see as many results as we want to see. We see little bits here and there, but it's not really, enough. And then constantly being triggered into deeper purgings. And it's like, oh my God, okay, this has not been fun. And you just really need to, it's just kind of a goodbye of the journey as well, where it's like, okay, this has been really not enjoyable. You need to really feel it all in order to now release it all. the whole story of it. That's what I've really been going through, because it's an old story that I'm not telling myself anymore because it's changing now. I need to let go also of that story. You know what I mean? Where we now believe we can, we will have the energy, and we will have the, that we trust that things are shifting now. We're letting fully go of that reality where it's been difficult, where now we don't need to heal from our experiences anymore, where things are going our way, where things are coming together, where everything we've been manifesting and seeing also at a higher dimensional level now to become a reality. And I think you can feel also, or many of us are starting to feel, any remaining insecurities or doubts we had are literally being dissolved. And that brings us the confidence to then speak or, write these creations into manifestation or whatever else we are being shown. Obviously, again, this also comes with action and listening to our inner guidance. But the doing comes from the being. Always. It comes from inspired action. So it doesn't come from fear that you need to do something, in order to, keep a roof over your head or something like this. Like, obviously, sometimes we need to do these things, but generally what we're going for now is literally creating from joy and shifting the paradigm of how we, how would you live on New Earth? What would you do if everything was unlimited? And then, see where can you maybe start activating their timeline with certain actions. Or again, you literally speak, think, feel, then 24/7 that reality into being. Ultimately, it's a belief in a frequency. It's the releasing any doubt, any discordant thought forms that are telling you that you cannot have that. That's ultimately all we have been doing here. It's the same with your true self. You're peeling away all these layers that you are not, depending on where you look at it from. But it's the same as when I had my awakening. You get like hugely activated and you're flying high, but then you come back down and then you have to clear out all that crap that is keeping you from keeping that state of consciousness and frequency. And that's what we've been doing. I very much feel the whole, I really feel there will be a huge reunion of divine counterparts and divine unions, and that's really what's bringing the new grid online. I've seen this for a long time. And also beyond the 144, and I also mentioned the number 12 and 13 before, which again comes back to your original tribes. So the core kind of Margie Grail queens and kings, or the tribal heads and leaders of these, also galactic races that have seeded us, that are making up these DNA strands, and the 12 tribes again that have seeded us. And it's, again, them holding the tribal records literally within their blueprints. And they're activating each other. When you come together with people, and especially in the physical, how you get activated. Sometimes it's a voice from another person, or just, I don't know, you watching my video. I know it activates people, but especially certain people. So if you're more connected to my soul group, and we all are connected, obviously, but you get what I mean. For certain people, it will do more than for others. And it's the same for any of us. So when we come together with certain people, huge activations take place, especially between twin flames. So there is a lot of very potent energy we're dealing with here. So that's the other thing. It's when twin flames, you can literally create and destroy worlds with that energy. And that's why we had to learn a lot of lessons, to very responsibly learn how to use our creative abilities and power, because we are not giving back that power before we also are not proving ourselves that we are responsible and accountable for our realities. It's kind of a built-in safety mechanism. But they literally are creating all new worlds. And also sacred sexuality is a big part of that. And it's also bringing a lot of feeling. And it also is, I believe, a key point to that. Because also what we've been healing and clearing, especially also connected to the Queen's death, has been all the sexual misery programming and satanic ritual abuse and all of these things, which are very much connected, which have also caused the inversions within the Kundalini not running within the human light body properly, and loads of other things. So this is all had to be cleared out. And the antidote is literally sacred sexuality, because this is, that was the inversion of it. So, and ultimately it is very healing. But yeah, you can also, when this is abused, sex, it can cause a lot of problems for your light body. If you should be very careful. And we're not talking about condoms here, of who you're having, sexual relations with, because it can cause a lot of problems to your light body if it's with the wrong people. And yes, attachments, entities, all of that stuff kind of thing, it's genetic material, you're exchanging, literally. So, and your energy bodies are, mingling and merging. So you want to take that very, that goes beyond spiritual hygiene here. You want to be very careful who you do have intercourse with, for sure. So the twin flames then are really at the highest level, bringing in the sacredness back to sexuality, because it's been so inverted, and especially lately it has been clearing a lot. But then also comes up, obviously, it's the same with the gender reversals and inversions and all of that stuff. It all comes up as this is being cleared in the field. So people can also see for what it is, and that it's not a good way to go forward. Some of the distortions we see there with in transgenderism and all of that. That is really, again, trying to take, it's the same with androgynous light body. It's not that we are, we are containing the sacred, but it's like we're also transcending the division. You know what I mean? So it's kind of, we're really rediscovering what does it mean to be a man and a woman, to be in the different gender bodies, but also transcending the division of the genders altogether, where we are all one thing. It's the both in the end. You know what I mean? So it's like the agendas out there. It's like they're trying to get rid of gender, which on one level, yeah, it's wrong, but it's also we are kind of also going there. You know what I mean? It's the both ends. It's the same with any of these agendas there. It's like parts of those agendas we are actually making, like we are integrating and activating, making happen. Like the reset, there is a reset, but it's not the reset they have in mind. And yes, I do not believe we will own anything as such, because again, owning is a failed concept. Like, you need to understand, an enslavement planet that we have been on is where you need to work for a living. What we are accessing is everybody just shares. Nobody owns anything. Why should anyone own anything and then sell it to another person in the first place as such? You know what I mean? If it comes to land, when it comes to food and resources, you know what I mean? The other things are all nice to have, but all of this is a given on any other normal, galactic society. And that's where we are, where you are naturally provided for. This is a given. You do not have to earn a living. You do not have to earn to survive, which obviously is not even working anymore, because you can't even earn enough to survive. So you get me, all right? So think that. So think beyond the money, because the money is what keeps you part of the enslavement society. Again, I do not see this, really. I see quantum leaping, jumping into a reality where everything is just provided for, and you have another type of reward system, okay? So again, these parts of the reset I do believe in, but we're picking these parts, and other parts are obviously not going to go, all right? No smart cities, no of that stuff. So cancel, clear, delete. Keep overwriting it with communities and natural, organic, new earth societies and so forth. So let's keep focus on that, which we want to see. And a lot of that will happen very quickly. Keep tuning in what's organic. Stop falling for any kind of gaslighting out there, or them trying to push any negative timelines, because they literally dissipate. They're done. They're done. All we now are looking forward to and are calling for are miracles. Okay, big ass miracles. Big. Think extra big and juicy, please, people. So let's make the magic happen. Anything else you want to manifest before I do this little activation? And then we're already here 1.5 hours. I can talk a lot. Just opening something. Do you have any suggestions for skin problems? Radiation burns, intense itching in both my arms, chest for months now. Black seed oil is very good generally for any kind of skin condition. Salt baths, maybe to a certain degree, would also help, especially seawater if you have access to sea. But yeah, also our skin, a lot of the crystallization happens, so they often can go through these stages. If it's, not a kind of just one condition, if it's kind of different types of things with the itching and this kind of stuff. So I also use coconut oil. That's what I use. Loads of water is always good. Yeah, I mean, there are loads of natural kind of creams. I always find you just need to, because also depending on where you live, different types of products, you need to kind of try out what really works for you. I always find, which is a pain. They should just give testers everywhere, so you don't need to just buy it. I'm happy these help you. So I'm happy these help you, and I know they help the field generally to just move. I know it always has an effect on the field and our energy, my energy. And again, I'm also doing this to talk to myself and listen back and integrate this a little bit further. But ultimately, I mean, we have all the answers within, truly, truly. Drinking your own urine. Yeah, I've heard that before. I don't know if I could ever really want to do that. Unless I was dying of thirst. You're welcome. Yeah, again, all of this, just listening to my voice will really help you clear, heal, balance, harmonize, and upgrade your whole morphogenetic field, DNA, RNA, all of that, even without doing light language. But let's do a little activation. I think just light language, nothing specific, and just also go away from our minds and just really tune in with our hearts. Like, just be. Let me just... You can just sit or lie down, close your eyes, and just take a couple of breaths, just to center ourselves. Let go of any worries, any tension, any stress. And just focus on your heart center and see a beautiful crystalline diamond rose heart opening up its many petals, glowing brighter and brighter, opening wider and wider. And with every breath you take, this beautiful sparkling energy, crystalline diamond rainbow opalescent plasma light flows out into your whole energy field until it fills out every cell and every atom of your beingness, your whole auric field, the room you're sitting in. Now ever far, you want to extend this light out. You can see it grow across your city where you live, in your country, growing brighter and wider until the whole planet is filled with this beautiful opalescent diamond rainbow plasma light. Namaste.
Ayanutorae, Enurata, Asunae, Ekurae, Anuene, Aye, Ekurare, Kenunasa, Nanae, Nanate, Aye, Etura, Ekunai, Enunasa, Nanae, Nuna, Ye, Ekurae, Enunase, Ayenu, Ana, Teu, Eunateu, Na, Na, Ekurashe, Nakarai, Nakarasukurai, Aira, Skunate, Era que Ekura, Esna Tekara, Aukura, Enase, Eshute, que Eskrae, Kero, Kukurai, Aina, Ashku, Aira, Enakarae, Enanasukura, Eana Kekinara, Kakaraete, Kukuraine, Kearashonate, Ayana, Tuananae, Eonaina, Unanae, Eonaseo, Oe, Teunae, Neya, Nue, Tukre, Enonata, Enonakere, Shera, Keke, Tuna, Enanase, Naya, Kure, Teke, Nananaye, Enonase, Una, Teu, Eu, Nasa, Tekaraye, Enonaya, Enonase, Unashe, Kura, Enanate, Unase, Enanaye, Ne, Natarare, Koyanare, Stukura, Enaena, Tu ya na se na ke una te una Kekarae, enana sana, kekarae, enana nana, ukarae, enate shure, enana yana, eyu, kara, kukera, enaka, etrae, enanasa, kuna shatiraya, uma, ena, ereuna, Shama ya Ekuranae ke ushkarae enu ana euna teuna euna enana ya te una se ukare anate arate manahe nana eo keo tara shukarae kanarae enana se nana ne se una ke una te rasha danaya keka arana Sekora shenanaye anana na na ya Isukaraye ke aira kunanaye eu tana eu na su activating the Krystar SAphiRA, Crystal Sophia, androgynous Albion body blueprint, the Cathan Albion body within the planet and throughout our fields, bringing divine union to all, perfect balance of the divine masculine and feminine within and without, within the Holy Trinity rebirthing itself as the divine child, Krystar SAphiRA reborn as one in our original innocence, original divine blueprints, the divine template of the 144 plus 3 as 1, igniting throughout our DNA, RNA, quantum time codes, for our morphogenetic fields in every cell, planetary body, in all of life, everywhere, highest divine blueprints, activate. Esukaraske aira ashkuna aira aya. Asu ta aikara ekera aikara oskaina tatara kura. Hinananatere. Era sunatera ke esukana te aikana aya sataraye. Ke unatea asha aira. Ko ure. Activating our Merkabas, aligning, activating the perfect rod and staff codes, perfect spin rate, highest divine blueprints, activate. Esukara eskana era satara sukura inatea kera eyanata. Uyanadera seyanate. Uyananena seyara kanata. Activating the diamond sun body, throughout our fields. Aina sara eshkuna teraka aitana yetara suna inatanaye. Una inanata. Era sukeya. Diamond rainbow plasma light body. Sukrashkaya. Askratera. Akara era. Ukunayeye. Ayawo. Oscura, que na era te e ai no karaskairata sakara sata. Bringing perfect balance, harmony, divinity, and order to all realms, realities, dimensions, all worlds, all universes, unified as one. Resetting the cosmic consciousness back to its original innocence, original divine blueprints with the lessons learned. Uskana era, sukana tere. Back to the start. Activating the Edenic and Paradism blueprints, keys and codes throughout our DNA, throughout our cells, throughout our realities. Activating new earth now. New organic ascension realities in the organic creatrix field. Uskunaena te esurarera ka atanaekora ena shara sunatarateate. Sukunaera keraskara eskara ekana kete eskura era anatara. Tere. Sutuna tekena kara yanate. Activating the grids, crystalline core, crystalline caverns. Q sites, stargates, arc sites, trinity gates, organic ascension gateways, vortices, power points, ancient sites, ancient solar temples, pyramids, crystal pyramids, waters, aquifers, crystalline grids, beds, caverns. All crystalline technologies, 0 point technologies, activate now. Esura shena kera sukunatera satara nate. Crystal Cathedral Network. Unatera sekena setura shekena tetera etana tutara e. Crystalline Rose Grid. Emerald Heart Grid. Unate ta a iskita ka atino askara etara sukura skara etena sekera takara kukuna seketara kerekaraskutkarashke. Activating the cosmic quantum grid of life. Uskuna ishkena tera senatura kena kera tara sukura skena te eskana. Haira. Aua. Ai anate. Sura shena tera kera sesa sa su ayana shkara etera kara. Anane. Era su. Ora yana. Au. Oa. Teo. Uskara skatera sa. Uskara yake. Asara eataya. Sukura yake. Sunakera sekeratare enake ura esenatara kukunake ateaka. Kukana eata. Esunateake. Esunateaya. Kukuna enake akekena satarata. Era. Sukurata. Kakanaeka tasa. Turning our carbon atoms crystalline, 13 protons, 12 electrons, 13 neutrons, crystallizing our blood, our bones, our fascia and skin, clearing, releasing, dissolving any remaining density, miasma, any lower energies, frequencies, entities, anything, everything, ready to be released, along with the past, along with all that was false, along with the illusion, the artificial matrix simulation, fully dissolving now within our fields, within our memories, along with the realities, as we awaken from the dream. Aira, urenate, erura sekenae, eu, aiauna, ke, ya, sukura shkere askarae, ke. Uskurae nakera. Fully connected, net one with the cosmic consciousness, our multidimensional selves, unified and healed as one, unified as one of our soul, oversoul, avatar, rishi, and one pure true God source consciousness, right now, right here. Fully merging and unifying with our already ascended diamond avatar self in quantum no time, now. Esurash kena etera sakera ta askara yekena kara suture. Kena te era. Era se kena te atete. So. Releasing any remaining limiting, artificial, inverted, false thought forms and belief systems. Now, as we remember the truth, our true memories, true history, true tribal records, remembered again. Activating within the planetary grids, activating the sun disk network, activating the crystalline caverns, our ancient memories, crystalline technologies now, within and without. See the grids igniting, see Mother Earth lighting up in your whole fields, becoming lighter and lighter, every cell and every atom, every particle and wave. All of creation, purified, reset, back to the original seeding point, back to the original divine blueprints plus upgrades, igniting now fully. Kudashkera kera saye. Una kera saira. Ana kera yaya. Ere. Ana yaya. Aena kera ye. Arasura. Kekena yake. Kekena yake. Kekena yake. Now come back to your field and see this beautiful bubble of crystalline diamond rainbow plasma light all around you, healing your auric field, closing any openings, any holes, fully sealing it, strengthening it, puffing it out. And see yourself in a beautiful column of light, always connected all the way through the stargate, through source, and to the crystalline core. Clearing, purifying any lower negative energies coming into your field effortlessly. Keep fortifying this throughout your day, whenever you feel the need to. And just see any lower negative density and energies dissolving. As we become lighter and lighter and brighter and brighter, our diamond hearts and mind unified as one, our right and left brain, pineal and pituitary gland, higher and lower self, masculine, feminine, unified as one in perfect balance and harmony and divinity and divine union within the Holy Trinity. Now, Kura ina kera sure, ea, una ina kea, era ina yae, una no na na. Just see this beautiful frequency of pure source love, healing your bodies, your physical, mental, emotional, spiritual bodies, back to perfect health, absolute ease and grace, filling your whole morphogenetic field with pure divine love. Una ira que rara se, una helping us to open to ever greater levels of love, loving ourselves, loving others, and welcoming love into our lives, knowing it is self to love and being loved. Kurata, kena keraye, kunana inaye, ae unae narata, kureyana, teraye, suna kana. Keuna karaya, karaskutare, tekenayake, takarayaka. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now come back into your body, fully anchored in the here and now. Calling all of your multidimensional self back to you, unified and healed. Fully present in the here and now. Fully embodied, fully activated. So it is done. Now, I hope you enjoyed that. Just drink loads of water, allow it to integrate. You know, listening to these videos and the activations, they do more than you may think. You're very welcome, you. And they really, are intended to support you and just make it a little bit easier, make it go a little bit quicker, so to say. That's all we can ever do, Nobody can do this for you, obviously. It's all just supposed to help you, remind you of what you already know, of that which you already are, okay? And we are unique fractals of Source, and we're here to remember our own tune that we came here to play, the own piece in the orchestra of the music of the spheres, which is basically the angelic blueprint of humanity that we literally carry within us. And as this ignites, it ignites within a planetary body and it ignites for humanity. And that's what heals all. So as we heal, keep focusing on the healing. This doesn't mean that we are overlooking anything or not wanting to look. Not at all. I think people who have been following me know this. I'm not someone for spiritual bypassing at all. But it means that we can now focus more on what's right with us, or more try a fun approach instead of the hard work and fixing things, because it's a part of the projection, as I've mentioned in my last 2 videos, if you want to review them, that we need to stop now. And we want to project that which we want to see, whilst we are not turning a blind eye at all. No, we speak up when we feel we need to, because that's what we also came for. But then we also come up with a solution and we override it with what we want to see. Okay, it's both ends. We can see what's amiss and then we override now with the kind of realities we want to see. And we came to make it happen by being the embodiment of that, what we want to see more of in the field, and by bringing more of that energy in, and by making a change happen for our actions. Every word, thought, feeling, belief. And it's literally a frequency. It's your deep-seated beliefs that manifest the realities. And obviously, it's a co-creative reality. That's why we had to be very patient. Okay, and I know we've been very frustrated, but let's put any remaining frustration into positive change, and let's make the miracles happen by equal surrender as well as inspired action. Each moment is different, and only you fully unified with your higher self, with your intuition, higher knowing wisdom, with your heart, then you have access to quantum intelligence, and then you know what to do in any one now moment. And you always be carried, you always be safe. This is your anchor point. It's the only safety you ever need, and that is the only real safety there ever is. Everything else is illusion, as we, I think, can see, because something can always happen to take away that perceived safety net that some of us might think they have, or, because again, it's us ultimately remembering we're eternal. This is very, we are projecting ourselves into the hologram. So you're in charge, okay? You are the creator, you're the glitch in the matrix, you're the creator and the architect. So think as if you are God, because you are, but not some little demigod, okay, who is like on an ego trip, but the one that's at one with all, at one with Source,
aligned with divine will, then you know when you need to surrender and when you need to make the change happen by doing whatever we're doing and are guided to. And everything is this, doesn't need to be anything big, okay? It's the frequency and who we are embodying every 30 seconds, quite frankly. And it doesn't mean that we don't sometimes have, some grumpy days. And the last few days have been very challenging. So you need to give yourself compassion, love it all up, try to do the same with others. And the more you do it with yourself, the more you can extend this out to others naturally and anyway. Yeah, and now surrendering to the heart is all there is, really. And we really need to go for whatever our heart tells us that it wants. And it's, boundlessness is risking it all for love. And that's how you transcend time, space, and gravity. And that's what we came for. And that's what I've been doing. And that's the only way to live. Okay. And again, it doesn't mean we are like careless, but we know that we came to transcend the fear because we know that's part of the fear matrix. And as long as we are in line and in alignment with our intuition and destiny, everything aligns for us. As soon as you align with that, everything aligns for you. But it's also obviously divine orchestra, and we had to be very patient for it all to come now together and come online and us to be able to really push those buttons now, okay? So let's make the magic happen. Let's do this. I'll post the activation as well later separately as the MP3 again you can download, and then also my SoundCloud. Again, I very much appreciate donations if you can to support me back, because again, this is my only income and this is all I offer. And I could charge for them, but I don't for many reasons anyway. So if you can, and if you can't, also a like, share, subscribe, comment does also help, okay? Thank you very much. If it helps you, if not, fine. But if it does, I appreciate the support back. Thank you. And that's what we need to do for one another, really, okay? Because some of us cannot carry all of this stuff. Like, that's one of the things I've been calling in. I need support now, especially for my masculine. I need that physical support because I'm not supposed to just do this on my own. Yes, on one level, yes, we are to get us to here, and we're never alone, because that's what we're transcending here, the illusion. But then it's also when it comes in, because we're also not supposed to do it on our own. It's the both ends, as with everything, So anyway, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for holding the vision. Thank you so much for listening to your wisdom, guidance, intuition, for not giving up, for hanging in there. And I know it's been tough, but let's just let go of the last little bit of baggage and tension or fears or whatever it still is, worries, doubts, insecurities. Let's just wash off you for pure divine love now flowing through us and the grids, all right? And that's really what makes the healing fully happen. And the masculine and the feminine are healing one another as well. The masculine needs the feminine needs the masculine. There is no rising without one another. I don't know if I said this earlier, but that's kind of the whole point. I can't see this because they fell together. They need to rise together. They are one. That's the whole point of all of this. To realize, yeah, actually we do need one another without neediness. You know what I mean? You do. You need one another. So we do not need to be also afraid of attachment on that level. We just can't let the world go to shits if something happens, that kind of thing. I think you get me, all right? Now, because we've learned and we are made of strong stuff, and it's all about being brave hearts, okay? Because that brave heart is what wins the day, which brings on your monad, which brings on your ascension, or rather, this is already in full flow and happening, and our heart is the key. So let's open it up, okay, without being obviously, careless, knowing who to open it up to. But ultimately, a healed heart is an invincible heart. And then once you've transcended all the trauma and wounds, you understand it's been your mind that's actually been tricking you into false perception of what's really been, playing out, because it's all just been us learning lessons, and there's not really anyone to blame here.
So that's the end of victim-victimizer consciousness. That's the end of 3D, where we no longer play victim-victimizer games and these storylines. They've all been deleted. We've been doing great work. All right, so keep remembering this. If not, watch this video again or another one of mine. That's what I do them for. All right. So thank you so much. I love you. And so many blessings, so much love. Braveheart energy, our dragon aspects, our lion and lion aspects all coming out. Okay. We are rising and I can feel it. Now let's do this. Let's do the magic. We came here to do this. We've created all of this. So let's create something really nice. All right. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Yes, I am a dragon mommy. Bye. Bye-bye. Bye, guys. So much love.